So today I'm working with Coach Brandon. You'll probably see him in a lot of the videos here. So we're going to demonstrate the single leg glute bridge, which is both a test and a cueing movement. So if it's something that we see issues on, we'd actually correct it by continuing to work that same movement and use some of the cueing strategies that we're going to use today. I like to use this if we have question on three things. So one of them is do we have imbalance in glute firing to the left leg? So this is a great way to ascertain that, as well as integration into the core. So you'll see some issues there. And then the third is if we've got any basically rotational or torsion control issues. So those are the three things, and I'll show you what to look for as we're doing this. So let's go ahead and Brandon promised me he's going to have some issues, so
it's not going to be pretty.
Okay, so we're going to straighten out one leg here, and we're going to raise it up till it's parallel with the other leg here. And instead of doing repetitions to start with, we're just going to do one and hold, but we've got our arms set at 45 out to our body here. And we're going to just glute bridge up. Boom. And we're trying to get full extension here. So here, things we're looking for. So one of them is if we're dropping down on the side, which he is doing. So he's dropping this way. And go ahead and come down. Also not quite getting full extension yet either. You also want to be very just feeling, how does it feel? So are you feeling tight in the hamstring? Is the adductor firing? Do you have some issues going on? So be aware of if you feel any imbalances. So let's go ahead and just do a couple repetitions as well. Okay. And let's turn this way. Let's do one from, let's spin around, let's spin all the way around here. There we go. So raise up. We'll see if we can see on the, so you see we start getting some drop in here. And let's switch legs. Oh, good. Again, lacking a little bit of full extension. Try to fire all the way through. And we've got a little bit of drop here on this left side as well. Sometimes you'll see people come up all the way and then we'll rotate. So one of the things that we want to do is let's first start focusing on our breathing and bracing. So we're going to breathe out against my thumbs, pressurize those obliques. Good. And go ahead and bring that leg up and fire through. So you can see right there we've got a little bit of improvement in the rotational stability. So shows we've got still a little bit of integration there to work on. So really focusing on that is going to help Brandon with this. Let's see what impact that has on the other side if we do the same thing. So again, big belly out and obliques. Good. Better extension. Quite a bit less drop on that side as well. So we've got some good things there. So that's really what I'd have him focus on. And that's really kind of some of the primary cueing there. Another is just to work this in. So this could be a great pre-workout firing drill. If you're going to do that, don't do too many because we don't want to fatigue ourselves. This can be pretty challenging. You could wear out some areas pretty fast. Sometimes if you've got a glute firing issue, you may end up getting some cramping in the adductor or hamstring while you're doing this. So that's telling you that you've got some issues there. Did you feel that? Any differences there?
Yeah, so with this, me personally, I am really hanging on my hamstrings to do that. I think what you want to look for is more of a purely a glute and core tie-in with that versus really trying to extend through your hamstring, which is kind of what I'm doing. So yeah. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm getting closer with those bracing patterns.
So, and that's why once he tied the core in, we got better extension because you're probably getting more glute activity at that time versus the hamstring is going to be able to get you to a certain point, but it's not going to be able to get that full extension and why we were lacking that.
I bet if you go back and look to the previous couple of bridges that those ribs were really extended and flared out, until you really bring those down and then begin to extend. It kind of takes that hamstring out of it a little bit and puts it where you wanted it to feel like.
So single leg glute bridge, it's great from both a developmental, cueing, so you can use it on your off days. So on the off days, you could do a lot of more, like hit like 4 sets of 10 reps, that sort of thing. It's a cueing movement. You know, I would just do like 5 reps per side. You want it firing, really focus on the core stabilization. You just want enough to cue it before you start moving into your heavy lifts.
Shouldn't be a whole workout.
Yep. So, and then obviously, it's a very good test as well. And we saw some issues with Brandon there on that. So we're going to continue with the glute bridge really quick and do a variation of pretty similar to what you see with a clamshell or a monster walk. So we're going to do a 2-leg glute bridge, but we're going to cue, and we're going to put this around your knees and cue both glute activity while we're doing it. And then I'll show you how to do the single leg after this. Bridge. Boom. So what we're doing here, I'm reaching in here, nice and tight in the glutes, so we're cueing glutes. So let's go ahead and come down. And let's take the band off. Okay, and I'm not going to provide any tension here. So go ahead and do the single leg. And as you saw earlier, the lack of full hip extension, so go ahead and come down. And now we're going to cue glute activity again. So here we go. Boom. A little bit better extension, not fully, but can you feel the glute, Brandon?
Oh, yeah. I can feel it.
Here, in case they keep
I can feel it.
All right. So that's a nice play on that. You may be able to, if you don't have a partner on that one, you might be able to hook it up to a wall and get in position. But that's a great way to isolate out that single glute that you may be having issues with. Did you have a preference over the single leg or the 2-leg?
Honestly, the single leg, I felt like I could feel it a little better. The 2-leg one really allowed you to externally rotate at the hip simultaneously, whereas if you're having problems on one side or the other, the single leg one may be more beneficial with the band.
And I agree. The unilateral training like that, when we're trying to work on some firing patterns, I find to be very effective. So.